So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So, tomorrow, Super-Sugo Fest is dropping for Uta, but because there's so little info right now, I didn't feel like making a video about it. Instead, I want to talk a bit about something that has been bothering me. And it has been bothering me for a while, but with the introduction of super block orbs, the complaints resurfaces again, basically. And I'm basically worried about what's to come in the future. Uh, Unlike many others, I feel like many others hate when Bandai introduces new mechanics, like new debuffs from enemies. But personally, I love it. Like new stuff to play around with. Bandai are usually creative with them. There's not many of them I really dislike. Like maybe the damage limiter because it forces stalling basically, and I don't like when stuff is forced with little options, but I can live with that. What I don't like is when you take existing mechanics and you make old units, unable to do their job anymore. If we start with the old thing that disturbed me, if we take the fear mechanic, like I'm sure we have someone with fear around here, maybe the carrot. Yeah, like we have the fear resistance, and like it's a pretty niche mechanic. Like I'm not going to complain about that this is super meta, but still, like with the fear mechanic, like basically sailor abilities gets disabled. And if we take you can start with removing special bind. Like before fear was a thing, all of these units could remove special bind. But after fear was introduced, like if Banner decides to do a content where you get both fear and special bind, like only very few of these units can now remove special bind, and that includes legends like this Boa, for example. Like she can't do her job if the enemy has fear plus special bind. It's so dumb. So, and yeah, that just makes me very annoyed where units were able to do their job before can't do that anymore. Like that feels super backwards in my opinion. Like it's better than to introduce new mechanics in the game that you have to deal with, and like basically requires new type of units for that, rather than, oh, this unit could remove special bind before, now they can't anymore. Obviously there's some skill element to it, like you can abuse swaps with some units, like with Nami Usopp, for example. It removes the special bind when you swap, so you can get around it without fear. With Rebecca is the same. They can also swap to get rid of the special bind, so they are very useful like that. There are also supports that remove special bind you can use. But other than that, like you just need to run a unit that removes it or a captain resists it, and it's just a lot less options. Another fear combination is the CD reduction. And like even a super good letting like Pudding, like she just can't do anything against fear and special bind because she doesn't have the fear resistance. Just yeah, not a fan of that. But thankfully, as said, like this is pretty rare. And in general, fear plus seed reversal has more counter options. There are more supports that reduces special reverse than special bind. At least for final stage, which is usually the stage where fear combos are applied by Bandai. But in my opinion, the new mechanic with super blocks is worse than fear, mostly because Bandai is really showing that they plan to use it a lot. And block is also just more common. Like, look how many units I have that remove block orbs. Like, there's a lot of units here. And how many of these can remove super block orbs? Well, literally zero of them. Like I talked about this before, the only unit in the game that can remove super block orbs right now is Nami Robin with their swap, and then you just get empty orbs instead, which might not be the most desirable either. So basically, they force you to preemptively get like 1 orbs, uh, Samla orbs, Super Bomb orbs. I know there's something more, like Rainbow orbs, right? Stuff like that. And that's not maybe always possible. And what annoys me even more with Super Bomb Orb is with the no counterplay is that there are already very annoying bad orbs with counterplay. Like mainly we have Super Bomb orbs and poison orbs, and I feel like neither of them gets super a lot of usage. Like in particular, Super Bomb is basically never used, and I'd really like if it was more common because then it will make the few units we have with bomb sailors and such more usable. Even if I guess Super Bomb matching sailors are much less common. And with poison orbs in particular, there's a lot of counterplay. Like we can take units that reduce poison, not that many, but yeah, as you see, I've been doing some Shiryu farming. So there's not that many units that remove poison, but there's some support as well, some swaps, some super type specials. So that has some counterplay at least. So yeah, I'm just a bit disappointed with this route because the way we're going, they're going to keep adding mechanics and just put super in front of it and make a lot of old units unusable to do the job they were supposed to be able to do. Like, I can see super bind happen, and suddenly all of these units that remove bind will no longer remove bind, and that's just. I just think it's uncreative, which is a shame because in general, the new mechanics and like new units added with their gimmicks, new legends and stuff, I feel like Bandai are usually do a pretty good job. I'm pleased with most new stuff we get. Like with content, my main issue is the lack of it, even if it has got better in my opinion. And with Legends, maybe a bit too much, but personally speaking, I think a lot of Legends is not a problem. I might talk about this in a future video, but let's save it for this one. But yeah, I'm a bit worried about this because basically the only way around this, like with Superbind for example, basically if you want to remove Superbind, like you need to pull units that remove Superbind, and that basically forces you to use certain specific probably new units in that case, and I don't think that's healthy for the game. Like luckily for for Super Block there are a lot of ways around it, like with particularly 1 orbs, since there's a lot of units that can give 1 orbs easily. There's also some good ways to get Samla and stuff like that, so you can definitely work around it. And right now, except for the regime based Super Block orbs, has been a way to heavily punish you for stalling, which is fine, I guess. Like they could just insta kill you as well. But we'll see what route it takes in the future. Like personally speaking, as I've said, just make new gimmicks. Usually they are pretty fun and interesting to play around, but taking old gimmicks, making them inaccessible to old units, yeah, that's just super boring in my opinion. But yeah, I feel like I made my point pretty well. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some Super-Sugo. Maybe pools. We'll see. It depends on like the structure of the parts. Like there might be a lot of parts, and one is better for me. Then I'll wait for that part. But yeah, I'll definitely pull on some part for Uta. Make sure to get at least 1 copy. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.